Daniela, it'd be great if you could give a bit more background on like what you're studying, where you're at, and what kind of industries you're looking for.
Okay, so I am an economist. I study economics at Carlos III, Madrid. And after graduating, I applied to their master's in finance. I got in, so I'm currently studying that. And during my bachelor's years, I did a couple of internships, one at commodity trading, the other one at ENP. And I was looking into applying to investment banking, private equity, venture capital, and this kind of industries, but was not really sure how to go about it. And I met Luke, basically. So I started applying as everyone else through LinkedIn and this kind of stuff. And that didn't work out. Or if it has, yeah, actually, and as it has to, I didn't ever receive like an offer from that. I got into like first, second round interviews, but never till the end. So maybe it was like a good idea to start from somewhere else, looking for something else. And that's how, and that's why this method can be kind of attractive to me and interesting for sure.
hmm So you tried other things and they hadn't worked especially well, so you thought you'd try something new. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And how did
That's
you?
something you just have to get right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How did you find me? Out of curiosity, I don't think I ever heard.
I think your videos are really good and really
Oh,
popular
really?
as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And so you were doing a master's. You had done internships in your bachelor's. Why did you not continue doing that again? What was it about the ones you did in your bachelor's that meant you tried a different? Well, you were doing the applications already, but they weren't working. What do you think was causing that?
I mean, it's not. I mean, let me formulate it in another way. It's not that it was not working, but it was not working for the jobs I wanted to get.
hmm
So basically, during my bachelor's years, I was able to get a role through the regular method. You get a job post, ad or something, and you just apply to it. But these job postings are like something you cannot control. So they might call you, but that job posting might not be something you're really interested about. So that was the issue for me. Like I'm not matching. Not there was not
Yeah.
like an equilibrium for sure.
hmm
So this is just like another way to look for it.
Yeah. And so you were really going after those investment banks, but found that with the traditional applications they weren't landing.
Exactly. Like front office is hard to learn overall, not necessarily just investment banking, but front office roles overall. They are just hard. So most of them, I would say, they are not even posted. So that's what the shift was appreciated.
hmm hmm Okay. How many applications would you say you'd made before before you joined?
Before,
Yeah.
I have like an application tracker, but I have to admit I'm very picky with what I apply to. Because
hmm
as I told you, I had already done some previous internships, and I knew I didn't have a problem to get a job. That was not my problem. My problem was that I was not able to learn what I wanted to learn.
hmm
So while applying to stuff during my master's year, I was really picking to what to apply to and what not to. And from there, I think I had received like 4 calls, one interview at the end out of 55 applications. but they
Okay.
didn't end up well because at the end they were always looking for someone that already had some previous experience. Although the job posting didn't say that, so that's why it never ended up well.
Yeah. Okay. And they were looking for that investment banking experience, which you hadn't had, but you had prior, almost adjacent experience, but not directly what they were looking for. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so you're doing your masters currently. So you'd been doing your masters. You just started the masters, and you were applying. So how was that then? As you were going through the year, things weren't landing. Was it feeling like you might run out of time before the end of the masters to get something?
Well, I was looking to get something before the masters ended, but as an internship to do during the masters. So no, not I
Mm-hmm.
was not really recruiting for full-time positions, but I was looking for like internships during the masters. So by the last semester, basically,
Yeah.
and those are just hard to get. Usually, people don't just post like part-time jobs at whatever month you want in the exact role type you want. So that was really an issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm getting the sense that it was finding something that would work for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to reach an equilibrium. Maybe not like traditional ways. It's just put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And so then you got on a call, quite similar to the call that people might be seeing while watching this video. What was it that made you book the call? Because you'd seen the videos. Why book the call and take that first step?
First, if you want something, I mean, if you try something and it doesn't work, try something else. And this really looks like something like different that I was willing to give a shot. Like not sticking to the regular methodology because ex ante I could tell that it would be really hard to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it sounded good to me.
Mm-hmm. And so trying something new, and you must have been looking around at other people, people doing similar things, giving advice and guidance. Did you try anyone else? What made you go with what we do at Intern Outreach?
What's the question? If I have seen anyone else doing what we have been doing?
Yeah. So you might see other people that give advice on getting internships and things. Had you tried others? And then what made you go with what we do at Intern Outreach and go with us instead?
Well, the results for sure speak for themselves. So if you were able to learn something for yourself, that's your proof. Usually the advice you find in the internet is just general advice from someone that you don't even know what he does for life, and he's just like posting messages or that you should send to people, but you don't even know if he tested out or something.
Mm. Okay. So you felt that if I'd done it and you'd seen what other people had done, then you do the same and you'll get the same result.
Yeah, I must admit that I was doubting at the beginning, especially because of the location. So
Mm.
I thought that the culture could change dramatically, and that would be like a big issue because it's not the same of reaching in some countries and in others. And I was not really sure how the place where I live looks in those terms. But at the end, it turned well, so it worked as well here, at least.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great point. And I remember on our first few calls, we had to tweak some of the wording so it was suitable for your location because some of it, when you're outreaching, is about knowing your audience. And so the people you were outreaching to, we had to adjust the messaging a bit, didn't we?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's something
that
you
was
don't
one
get
of the
on.
most important.
Yeah, you don't get
Yeah,
that on just templates when you can work with someone and test different things. Um,
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Did you have any expectations? Any any kind of preconceived ideas about what it would involve?
I mean, the most popular preconceived idea is that why would the other person have any kind of incentives to reply to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're a CEO going your own business. Why would you reply to someone? So that was what I was foreseeing as the situation. But it turned out to be differently, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because people here don't outreach that much, that when someone does, it surprises them in such a way that they are ready to like engage with you. That might be the case. I don't know. Sure.
Mm-hmm. There are definitely untapped markets, and if you're in
Exactly.
certain
Exactly.
areas,
It's
it
like
is more
innovation.
saturated than others. What was that?
Yeah. Like I would think that in the US or in the UK, people are more likely in a certain way, or there are more people doing this. So I wouldn't say they are saturated markets, but they are not new.
Mm,
But I was taking advantage of this methodology being like completely new and here. So that
that's a
also
really good
helped.
point.
Like,
Yeah. So I imagine some people might be watching this and thinking, I am not in a well-known financial district. There aren't many companies, but that could be a strength because no one else is doing it. And so if you are the
yeah,
one
yeah,
person doing
absolutely,
it, then
absolutely. They're surprised.
yeah, exactly.
And if you believe that you really have the basics, like the qualifications they are required for this kind of jobs, you should go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a really good point. I think if you're the kind of person that would deserve it and you've got what they're looking for, it would honestly be easier in a less I guess saturated is an okay
Concentrated,
word, but
yeah.
it then implies that it doesn't work in those areas. It does work. It's just easier where there are less other people doing it.
Easier to surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. And how would you describe your cold outreach experience? How many emails did you send? How many calls did you get? How many offers so far? Obviously, there are still things in progress, but as we stand right now,
I mean, I sent out 20 emails, some of them to venture capitals, to private equities, to investment banks, and to search funds as well. I got like 5 calls. Two were looking for first, but not currently. It was like in half a year or something like that. So they are still like open opportunities. Then two, mm, I really didn't like them. Like there was this company that cited me the day after I sent the email to their offices, and I could see the culture that was not really fitting into me. And then there was like this company where people they seem really interesting, and I believe I'm a good fit for them. And we had like an interesting connection at first, and that it has been like my offer so far. So out of 25 calls, no,
that is incredible. A 25% call rate is it's not typical. It's not typical, but you were doing it with a good profile in a very
yeah,
under underused market,
exactly.
and so I can't tell people that are watching this video to expect a 25% call rate. But if you are the kind of person that has some prior experience, you've got things going for you, and you're in certain parts of the world, or you're willing to relocate or work remote, it's entirely doable. Yeah, that's incredible. And how long was the timeline from like the first email you sent to the first
Almost
replies
like
to the first calls?
from first email to an offer, it was a month.
Mm-hmm.
And from first email to first call, or not actually call, because I had to go to their offices 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And what do you think caused it to be a month? Was it kind of delay on both sides? Do you think if you'd been like followed up a bit more, or how
Yeah,
could
I mean,
things have gone to get it in a couple of
for
weeks?
the firm I got the offer for, I actually had to like contact them more than once. So I had to follow up for a couple of times, and they ended up replying. So the first time it might be that they were just busy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's useful to actually yeah, try to reach them out again. They don't reply at first.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was a delay. Yeah. After that, to set out the interview took like 4 days, and afterwards, I think they were just processing everything, trying to see if they were really looking for an interview. I believe.
Yeah. Okay. And so, do you think it would have been possible to get an offer within 2 weeks or so if you had sent more emails? Do you think if you'd done more outreach, it would have been quicker and you would have got things sooner, or do you think it wouldn't have changed things?
Um, so as I told you, I was kind of cherry picking.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at the LinkedIn's of these companies and stalking them a little bit, like looking at the people that were their qualifications, where they ended up afterwards and stuff like that. And I just prioritized the top 20 I had, and that was what I did.
Mm-hmm. So you've been very selective.
Yeah, I did. I was like, if I were to receive an offer, but I really consider to work for this person, yeah, no. So that's how I booked my first list, and it worked out. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. What was your motivation for being so selective? How come you had that really narrow list? Why not go a bit broader, send more emails, and get one a bit sooner?
I realized that there were not as many companies that actually interested in you.
Mm.
So it's not such a broad industry. So there are some like PCs, Ps, the city, but there are not 200 that actually interest me. So I was just prioritizing the first reaching out to the people I actually wanted to reach out to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it worked out. It worked out, didn't it? Mm.
Yeah.
Any part of it that stood out as surprisingly effective, things that you hadn't considered before that you thought were that's actually really, really smart and useful?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so
Any part of?
the strategies, the outreach, any part of it that you thought, oh, that's especially good, or hadn't thought of that?
Yeah, like attaching like a specific detail for the company you're interested at. It's really
Mm.
useful. They really like that part.
Yeah, that personalization, making it
Yeah, and
super specific
especially
to
like,
them.
and besides that, like the structure, they're not saying like, "Hello, my name is this. I am a student, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the the typical email you always get. So it's not as disruptive, but it should be to cause them a good impression.
Oh, that's really good. Yeah.
Because
So,
during my interviews, I actually asked them like what actually made you reply to me.
it's a
And
great question.
their email was like really good written, and I really like it. So I like to help people, and I remembered that when I was young, I was kind of in your situation, so that's why I replied to you or something like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So the actual way the email was written was part of it, not just who you actually were. Isn't that incredible? So you could have a much worse profile, but if you can communicate effectively, then it compensates for that and can even far exceed it. Mm. Yeah,
It's definitely an important part. Yeah.
yeah. Did you feel more in control? You mentioned that you actively didn't like a couple of the firms, and so you were able to almost reject them back. Did that feel quite good, having previously been just applying online and either getting ghosted or rejected?
I mean, you kind of get to feel your amount of power, negotiation power. So that's good to know when you have it or how much of it you have, since you have to know for which price you're going to be selling yourself.
Hmm.
So you have to see what's the demand for you, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. I suppose it's very different from what a lot of students are used to, in the fact that they're so used to just begging on portals and writing endless cover letters and tweaking their CV over and over again just to get ignored. But then when you have that ability to really decide what you want to do, have you spoken to anyone else that you know
And
and talked about your experience? How have they understood what you've done?
they were shocked. Yeah, because it's obviously like a play we're not expecting, like a movement no one is foreseen.
Hmm. Unexpected. So you just said, "Oh, I've got a few offers now," and they were like, "Where did they come from?"
No, I told them like I wrote to a few CEOs and they replied to me. And I've got like a couple interviews on offers. So it's random,
Are they?
not random, but it's like surprising.
No, for sure. Are they interested in trying it? Are they gonna try it themselves? Are you gonna teach them?
Hopefully it will work out as well.
Mm. Hmm. Did they ask for any tips? They're like, "Give us your email that you sent. Give us the template."
Yeah, not really the template, but I just like showed them that the actual like subject had to be in a certain way, like catchy.
Mm.
Like it would,
Catchy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would need to be interesting enough to open it.
That's it. You can't be too formal. You can't be too stiff. It needs to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like from you to you,
Hmm.
but in a professional way,
Yeah, exactly.
and not like begging for anything.
Hmm.
Just like offering something. If you want it, you can take it. And if not, we'll go see something else.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. It is just laying your offer on the table. Here's what I'm willing to do. Yeah, take it or leave it. Okay. And so then, closing comments. If there's anyone still watching this on the fence, they're thinking, should I do it? Should I not do it? What would you, Daniela, say to them?
I mean, even if you don't get something like an offer, you still get experience with selling yourself, which is a very good thing to have, like a really, really important thing to have, an ability you must develop. So it's a way of starting to develop it, in my perspective. And who knows, you might even get something.
Well, you will. If it's anything like you, send the outreach, do the work. There's no reason why you couldn't get an offer. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking. And if you're watching this, take the step, book the call, and I'll see you there.